All right, so we're going to talk about the Scotty Cameron. They have their new low torque line of clubs. Now, there is one very, very important distinction. Notice I said low torque, and I'm going to talk about that, why this is different from a L.A.B putter in just a few minutes. But let's go over the specs of this putter first. This is the Phantom 11R, and they call it the OC. There's also a Studio Select Fastback model, Fastback OC. If you're seeing those OCs, these are going to be their low torque putters. Now, what does the OC stand for? Well, it stands for what they're doing with the shaft. So what they call this is the Onset center shaft, meaning, hey, we actually have the face in front of where the shaft is. Typically, when you've had putters, they've actually had offset, where if we take this traditional putter, this is the Phantom 11, you're going to see that there's some offset where the face is actually behind the shaft as you're hitting the putter. So they're calling this onset instead of offset. So if you see OC, that's what they're saying. Hey, this is going to be behind the face. And what they're trying to do is get the shaft to go through the center of gravity of the head for the putter. That's what helps minimize face rotation, or the wanting of the putter to torque as it's going through. And torque is just, this face is going to rotate, and we're trying to limit that as we're hitting putts. And we know that that's a good thing typically in putting, is if you can deliver the putter with a square face, you're going to be in a much better spot. So what do we see with this from a spec standpoint? Well, obviously you're going to have a bunch of different lengths that you can get. Scotty has the traditional weights that you would see on their putter. This is a 35 inch, so you're going to have 10-gram weights in the bottom. You're also going to notice that this putter has different alignment markings. Obviously the shaft gets in the way of the old traditional alignment markings. I do actually like just the single solid black line. That just looks really clean and easier. It just looks a little less messy as you're looking down there, a little less like an alien spaceship type thing. But the other thing you'll notice that's pretty noticeable is the rounded corners or rounded edges. That's where the 11R comes from. Now the Fastback does not have that R logo, but the Fastback already was kind of a rounded shape to it as it was. So I don't think that's going to be too big of a difference for people. A couple of the things that people are going to say, hey, how does this compare to L.A.B as far as their specs? Well, a couple big differences. Lie angle, 70 degrees on this guy. L.A.B's you're going to see at 69 degrees. Also, we do have some forward shaft lean in this. So 1 degree of press. When you get L.A.B and you get their press grip, what this gets you is 2 degrees of that forward shaft lean. So you're looking at just 1 degree. Doesn't seem like a huge difference, but it could make a difference for some people. Something that you want to keep in mind. Now, these putters, hard to adjust them. So you're going to kind of stay with what you have when you're looking at them. That's kind of the point of them, is that if you start adjusting them, you're actually throwing off some of the makeup of the putter. So when people would bring us L.A.Bs or stuff like that, we would honestly say, hey, it's not a good idea to change out the grips or do something that's going to affect how the putter was built. Same classic Scotty look. If you didn't like the Phantom lines, you're probably not going to like how this looks. I think this looks pretty clean with the different contrast of the black versus the silver. I think it's a very clean look. Love the brushed metal finish that you get to it. And honestly, when I'm holding this putter, it actually feels really, really heavy. And I haven't really been able to put my finger on why that is, because compared to my Phantom 11, has the same weights, same length. It just feels quite a bit heavier as we are going through. So we are going to see how that feels as we go through and hit some putts. But having hit some putts with it, are we getting the desired result for this putter? Well, yes, the point of the putter is to keep the face square. Now, I have a device that I use called the Putting Alley. Really, really cool device. If you want to check it out, it's great for indoor practice at home. I'll link it below. You can actually look at this and say, hey, am I able to start the ball online? Which again is the whole point of this putter. I did not miss with this, hitting 2-foot putts down a rail that was basically the equivalent of trying to hit a 20-foot putt straight ahead. So that's a pretty tight window as we're doing this, and hit every single one of them down the rail, did not miss. Now, when I went back to my original Scotty Cameron, I did miss. Now, pretty good with that one too, but did not miss. I did actually have a couple misses. And the thing I noticed the most as I was looking at this, or as I was going back and forth, was my stroke definitely changed. As somebody that tends to get a little bit too much arc on their stroke, I tend to bring the putter in and then start pushing it out too much. This putter, for whatever reason, just will not let me bring the putter back too far inside. It just doesn't do it with the design of the shaft. That has to be what it is, the design of the shaft and where it's at. This putter wants to track more on a straight back, straight through. I'm not saying it is straight back, straight through, but it's definitely tracking more on a straight back, straight through path as we're hitting it. So that's something that's very, very intriguing to me. As somebody that has not gotten on board, I've tried a few of the different putters as I've gone through. I have not gotten on board with this trend just yet. I'm actually now, because I've had a chance to kind of compare apples to apples, I'm now more inclined to look at this. Now, a couple of things that I want to point out. People say, oh, now I can get a Scotty Cameron that is a L.A.B. There is one major thing that you have to keep in mind, all right? And this is true for everything that is not a L.A.B. So again, I think kudos to Scotty Cameron for correctly marketing this as a low torque putter. Is other companies have said zero torque. These are not zero torque putters like a L.A.B. is. So if I hold the putter here, okay, just watch this, I balance it, you're gonna see the face of the putters pointing out away from me. If I turn it, it immediately will go back to that balance, right? It will not stay in that orientation. It will go right back to where its balance is. Now, if I take the L.A.B, I have the DF3 here. The L.A.B, if I balance the putter, and it's a little hard on these to find the balance point. I've kind of learned that as you do this more. See how it balances? So precise. There we go. We turn this. Doesn't want to go back, even though I can't balance it, right? See how the putter face just stays in its orientation as I do this? There we go. See how it stays? Now this one's moving a little bit, so it's trying to twist, but there you go. See how it stays into its orientation. This is true for the Oz as well. The only one that I guess they found that hasn't done it is the heel shafted L.A.B. There'll actually be a little bit of twist, but I honestly haven't had a chance to test that yet. That's just allegedly what I'm hearing from other sources of that. You'll see a little bit of that. But that's one thing that people just need to realize. They say, oh, I'm gonna go get a zero torque, just like a L.A.B. It's not just like a L.A.B. It's very similar to a L.A.B. or in the design and the concept of it, but you are going to see a little bit of twist. And again, it's a low torque option. Now, for me, as somebody that likes to see the putter twist a little bit, I like a little open, a little bit closed feeling to my stroke. I actually do prefer that. I do prefer that in my stroke. But if you're somebody that does not like to feel that, then you're gonna have to try this out and make sure this is the putter that works for you. The other thing I would say is, if you're somebody that has a lot of open and close, you're definitely gonna wanna look at this and see if this is working for you. I wouldn't just go out and buy one just yet. You know, you're gonna see something that maybe has a little bit more of a flow in it, more of like a Newport style. Those are tending to be what you would see as you're looking through it. But again, with putting, it all comes down to, do you try it? Do you like it? And do you like the performance of it? For me, I liked seeing how the ball started online. I liked how it actually changed the shape of my stroke. One other thing I would say is, and this isn't exclusive to Scotty Cameron, this is actually with L.A.Bs. I've tried L.A.Bs in rounds and tournaments. I've tried some of the other brands with their zero torque putters. They just always like to sit open to me, like they always fall open. So I do always find I'm kind of battling it a little bit, but it's something I can work around. And if you practice enough, you're gonna figure out how to get that aligned. But just something I've noticed. I don't know why that is, but really cool option. And then again, price, we'll put the price down on the screen so you can see what it's going to be. But they're out. I'm interested to see what they do going forward. If we're only going to see these two models, or if we're going to see a bunch of other options that come out as they're going through. But right now, in a limited capacity, you're going to have the Scotty Cameron options in their OC models. What do you think? Is it something you've tried? For you L.A.B. people out there, is this something that you've tried? Do you move away from it? Or if you're somebody that's a Scotty fan and you've tried some of the more traditional models of Scotties, is this something you're looking to get into right away? I'd be interested to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.